Jobs, working, our overly abused but ever so surely depleting workforce. Something that many of us were taught growing up was a way to success. While many of us attempt to climb this ladder, only to eventually dream about escaping the matrix, leaving modern society sitting on a teeter-totter between living and survival.
How many hours a week are you working?
I'm working 36. I'm trying my best.
Okay, you're not trying your best.
I work full time.
Hardly, barely.
What else do I do? Because then
Work full time again after that shift.
that's exhausting though. I've held two jobs before, and it's exhausting. It's a lot on your mental health.
Welcome to the world though. Welcome to the world though. I mean, that's kind of what we have to sometimes do when we're sacrificing, right? Like if we can't afford to live, what does math tell us? You have to be able to afford to live. As an able-bodied human, work.
It's a lot though, like mentally.
It is.
Mentally,
and we've all done
physically.
it. And we've all done it though.
Do you want to know what else is extremely mentally draining? Coming up at the end of the month short on rent or mortgage and not having any food in your fridge so your children or your family or yourself is hungry. Having the lights shut off, which then there goes the heat if it's cold or winter outside, like it is here in the Midwest. It's freezing today. It's like -5. So yeah, some of these people don't seem to have ever really had much. I don't know if they've ever really been in the situation where they understand how mentally stressing it is to not work at all. But I also do understand that maybe this modern lifestyle of working 9 to 5 is necessarily what we were made to do, as humans, animals, whatever you want to call us. But quite the different mindsets that people have regarding the whole workforce. Now, this is another interesting thing. Construction is so weird. Bro is 50 and here to feed his family. I'm 22 trying to get a Hellcat. The way people differ on how they look at money and finances is absurd, but it definitely shows a scale between people's, what they value. For example, I feel like at the age of 22, getting a Hellcat is the worst decision you could make. Whereas this guy right here is 50 years old, and he is working the same job this kid is, probably making the same amount of money, maybe a little bit more, but who knows? And his whole worry is about feeding his family, which this kid's gonna have to worry about once he realizes how much that Hellcat's gonna cost him over the years. But let's continue on.
Work no more. Currently, I work at a furniture store and I get paid $16 an hour and we get paid bi-weekly. 2 weeks ago, I got sick and I wasn't able to go to work. My boss sends me a picture of the new schedule for the upcoming week, and I went from working 4 days a week to now I'm only on the schedule for 2 days. I send him a text back like, bro, why am I only working 2 days? He replies back, bro, you called out. I say, bro, I was sick. He then says, yo, I come to work sick all the time. What's your excuse? At this point, I'm frustrated and I'm already
Bro, you're the manager. I'm sorry, but when did it become that the manager doesn't have more of an upstanding task than the employees? I feel like most of the jobs I've been at, the employees get treated worse than the manager does, and aren't they getting paid more to deal with this bullshit? But whatever.
And at other jobs, but then bro, I start to think, I'm like, bro, if I get another job, I'm likely gonna deal with the same BS, the same stuff.
You can't escape it,
and then
brother.
you start thinking bro, if I'm gonna go through the same thing at another job, why do I want to keep working? Now look, today I was supposed to come to work at 10 o'clock and leave at 3. Bruh, 10 o'clock came, I was in there chilling, editing videos, doing what I had to do.
Think about that. He's still working on his side hustle, making videos while he's at work, because working is not enough to probably sustain himself.
When I see what time it is, it's 1 o'clock. And I'm literally just thinking, I'm like, bro, I gotta get me another job. It's not gonna last here, bro. But then again, I'm like, I don't wanna work no more, yo. I don't wanna work no more. So, bro, you know what I did? I clocked out and left. I be seeing these people on TikTok, they making money off the TikTok shop. They making money off
not TikTok shop
content of doing 1 minute long videos and everything like that. And I see it. And, me, the type person I am, it's not always about the money. It's not always about the money. It's about...
Let's be honest, man. For all of us, most of the time it's about the money.
Moving freely and doing exactly what I want when I want. I just want to be free. I just want to wake up every morning and be like, bro, what am I going to do today? Well, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. I don't want to clock in no more.
I'm never ever...
America, the land of the free and the home of the taxes. No, but to be honest though, I think it's super ironic how the majority of folks these days, especially like the new younger generation, me myself included, they only see any sort of content creation or what you see on the internet as the only way out, and the 9 to 5 is the last resort. When it actually growing up for almost the majority of us, I would assume that was the first option that you were taught to go with, but it's literally only taken a few years for us to all realize like we need to escape the matrix. Now, this lady's going to touch on why she never wants to work again. I can somewhat relate to some of the things she's about to say, but she's going pretty aggressive. So let's carry on.
Ever going to work again? This is why. It's just such a rat race. Honestly, you wake up, you're stressed, you're getting the kids, quick, 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 let's go to school. Come on,
I
we
don't have
gotta go.
kids.
Then you rush them to school, then you rush to work. You do your 9 to 5, you do your job. You have to have only 60 minutes.
60-minute lunch breaks. I've only ever had 30. I've only ever had 30 minutes. I think I'm getting scammed.
You can't even use your phone. You need to ask to go to the flipping toilet. Then if you've got an appointment, God forbid, oh my God, you've got to show a letter to prove that you've got an appointment just so you can take time off. Oh, and don't get me started on trying to book holiday for half term or 6
I remember
weeks.
when I was working at Target, I told my manager that now let's keep in mind it was like 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time that I wasn't going to be able to be there for this Thanksgiving weekend because Thanksgiving ended up being on like the end of the week, so it was like a weekend thing. I already had the days prior or the days ahead of that off anyway, so I was like, hey, I'm not going to be here for these 2 days. He says, yeah, sorry, we can't put it in the schedule. I know I'm requesting the days off, but I'm really just telling you I'm not going to be here. So I called in sick. Now, did I get fired? No. Now, were we super low staff and they probably needed my body to be there? Yeah, that's probably why I didn't get fired. But it's insane how you have to request your own time, even if you have the vacation time, even if you have the sick days on your clock in sheet, they still have to approve if you can use those or not.
You literally
And then
need
they
to give
disappear
them
over time.
6 months notice in advance, and even then your name gets put into a hat between all the other people to see if you can actually have
Oh no, it's a raffle.
time off. And don't
Your
even
time
get me
is a
started
raffle.
on the toxic bitchiness in offices. Oh my gosh, the women are talking about each other, the men are talking about each other, people are shit stirring.
Not the workforce drama.
And then before you know it, the whole office
That's
knows.
heavily incorporated into the
Drama
corporate
all the time.
sphere.
Obviously, the perks are you get paid once a month at the end of the month. Oh, and guess what? You get a pay rise once a year as well. Usually about one.
Never matches inflation.
Yet the rate of inflation
I didn't even watch this.
is like 7-8% in the UK. Don't even get me started on maternity pay and flexible pay. Literally, there is no such thing. If you want that, you have to jump through HR. You have to send about
I'm going to make a video about this in the future. HR is not your friend. HR is not there for the employees like they so try to claim. It's there for the company to keep the company's ass safe.
emails, so much proof, and maybe they'll let you work part-time. And when they do, again, there's so much drama in the office on all these snidey comments. Ugh. So yeah, I'll never ever work for anyone else ever again. I'm self-employed. I love being self-employed. You have so much flexibility, freedom. You don't need to ask anyone for time off. I don't need to send letters to anyone if I've got a hospital appointment. Honestly, it's ridiculous. If you're a businesswoman and you love having your own business, but you want to increase your sales that little bit more, or if not double or triple your sales this year, pop me a message. I'm a social media marketing coach and I can help you increase your sales organically through social media.
Of course it's social media. Can it ever not be social media? Are there any real businesses anymore, or is it all online? Anyway, kind of bizarre her claims that she'll never work for anybody else again. I mean, how does she know that? There's no way of knowing that her ventures are going to be super successful throughout the time. Maybe she'll have to go back to feeding her family, and those kids she was talking about, they're going to need to eat regardless of how she feels. So, obviously some people are able to do what they want to do and they're able to succeed in their ventures, but a lot of people, it's not that easy to make it out. And even if you do make it out, working for yourself has, yeah, there's freedoms involved, but it's a lot more work than going into a job, getting a task sheet, clocking in, watching the clock all day till it's time to get off, and then not thinking about your job after you leave. Now, let's be honest, more of jobs now these days, you have to be on some sort of 24/7 call clock, so you're pretty much working all the time anyway, even if you're not working. But that is the luxury of working for somebody else, is that it's not really your problem, most of the things that go on, or most of the problems or issues. Now, this last video I'm going to add in here is kind of more humor related, kind of more humor based, because I want to keep it more, up and lighthearted, kind of uplifted here. But this is a scene from The Simpsons, talking about taxes, and taxes is something that in America is heavily abused. And in some instances, like restaurant scenarios, if you're a waitress or waiter, in some states they can pay you as little as $2, $3 an hour, and you pretty much only live off your taxes. Which then, in some places, you have to pay tax on. So, let's continue.
That's $6.99. Enter your tip and sign here.
You want a tip? It's self-serve. We did all the work.
Hey, that iPad didn't swivel itself.
My shift's ending, so I'll just leave this with you.
Ooh, better get my figuring out the tip glasses. They include the tip, and then I have to tip on top of the tip? A tip-top tip?
I know that click.
Here's $1. Okay, we're leaving.
Mr. Simpson! Mr. Simpson, wait! Oh, thank you so much!
Oh no.
I've never had this much money in my life!
You tipped her $10,000.
No, I tipped her $1. Okay.
We don't have $10,000. We don't have 10,000 of anything.
Excuse me.
We don't have $10,000 of anything. Let that sink in.
I get that check back.
Why?
And just ripped her dreams in half. Yeah, so kind of crazy how that goes down is that, you know how excited she was? She's never had $10,000 in her life. Now, it's a cartoon. We're just trying to keep it jokey. But at the same time, it's like, I think that's very relatable to the average person, how they feel about tips, how they're living off tips, and how they would react if that ever happened to them. Now we're going to go into some comments because I always like to touch on some of your guys' comments. You guys are always showing a lot of support over here, and I really appreciate that. We're really trying to grow this channel. I've been uploading every single day, and I plan to continue doing that every day, if not daily, multiple times a week. So let's get into some comments here. The jobs don't want to pay a living wage, and most jobs aren't even going to give you full time. So if you can get health insurance or any other benefits, they'll give you just under enough hours to qualify you for benefits. On top of that, rent goes up $150, $200 plus a month every year, but I'll only get maybe a 50-cent raise once a year. That's exactly what I experienced living in the last apartment I was living in. I lived by myself in a one-bedroom apartment in the inner cities in Minnesota, in the Twin Cities. And I personally, even though it's the Midwest and the state's not the worst income, tax or income-related endeavors, whatever, I still was facing this. The wage increases, the pay rises throughout the years did not match the inflation cost. Now, if you're just talking about rent, possibly, but if you're talking about rent, food cost, every other maintenance and necessity that you need to have in your life, it all adds up, and it doesn't really cover what you need next year. So I was actually making less and paying more each year moving forward. So I've recently moved back into some family's basement or into some of my family's basement. Luckily, I have those ties, but many people don't have these options, which is leaving them kind of at wit's end. How old are you, bro? Pizza parties? Do you think adults give a shit about pizza parties? Okay, brother, I was joking. But if you worked a job long enough, they try to dangle pizza parties over your head like like one of those cartoons. Let's continue here. I have a few more comments I want to touch on. Sorry about the delay. Yeah, I have 2 jobs. I work construction, and I'm in the Army Reserve. Thanks for your service, man. There's other people in my unit that are homeless too. I live in my minivan, and he lives in a shed from small shed. That's insane to think about that. The people that have been serving our country they don't get any sort of, extra benefits. Now, obviously, there's some benefits I know that people who do those types of things do get, but it doesn't really make up for the fact that we're still all struggling at the end of the day. The older generation screwed and is screwing us more and more every day. All right, let's not point blame here, all right? I mean, a lot of people feel that way, but I don't think pointing blame on each generation is the way to solve it. I think it's all of us to come together and find some sort of way out. Is that possible? No. Are any of us really in charge of that? No, but we can at least try. I'm staying home, and I refuse to work until they fix the economy. And then he tries to compare me to Logan Paul, which I don't appreciate. But hey, man, good luck with that. I don't know how you're going to continue living in that home without any income, but hopefully you have something figured out. I'm currently homeless, but I have a car, and I don't want to stay living in this situation forever, though. Good for you, man. I can help you. I hope that you find a way to make it out. You really don't have freedom to do private stuff. Like, let's say I want to jump into a shower right away or be on my computer and work on stuff without it dying. Also, constant worrying that my car is going to break or people trying to break into my car while I sleep in it is shockingly constant. This is not a glamorous lifestyle. And that's referring to the majority, a few of my videos. The majority of them I've kind of covered how many people are just kind of opting out to living in their vehicles. And many people dream to have that much freedom that some people think is what comes with that lifestyle. Well, a lot of people in the comments are currently in that situation or have been before, and a lot of them are not really agreeing with that. They think now a few people are giving tips and saying it is nice for a time being to save up money or maybe to push yourself ahead a little bit further, but there are many negatives that come with the positives, and they might outweigh the other ones. So definitely do your research if that's your mindset to have that happen. But anyway, I do appreciate you guys watching. If you guys like topic discussion related conspiracy esque related videos like this, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate all the support, and I plan to keep these pumping out and coming the same way they've been pretty much the last week or so. So again, I'll see you next time.